Most people do not break because life is hard. They break because they keep waiting for someone to come back and save them. They keep checking the phone. They keep hoping for one message, one apology, one sign that the person who broke them finally understands their pain. But the truth is colder than that. No one is coming. And the day you stop crying over that truth is the day you become free. Because when you lose the person you used as your anchor, you think you are falling, but maybe you are not falling. Maybe life is finally cutting the rope that kept you weak. Maybe this pain is not here to destroy you. Maybe it is here to introduce you to the version of yourself that cannot be controlled anymore. So listen carefully. This is not about becoming cold. This is about becoming unmovable. This is about rebuilding without an anchor, detaching completely, and rising with a mind so strong that even the storm learns it cannot move you. Chapter 1. The day you stop needing anyone to save you, the strongest version of you is born when you stop waiting for rescue. For a long time, you may have hoped someone would understand your pain. You hoped they would call. You hoped they would care. You hoped they would see how much you were carrying inside your chest. You hoped someone would look at your tired eyes and say, "I know you are not okay." But they did not. They stayed quiet. They moved on. They watched you struggle and still acted like they saw nothing. And that kind of pain is different because it is not only the pain of being hurt, it is the pain of realizing that the people you expected to save you were not even strong enough to notice you were drowning. That breaks something deep inside a person. You start asking yourself hard questions. Was I asking for too much? Was my pain not clear enough? Did I care more than they ever did? And slowly, your heart becomes tired. Not angry, just tired. Tired of waiting, tired of explaining, tired of being strong for people who never became soft for you. But listen carefully. This is where your real life begins. Sometimes life removes help from outside, so power can wake up inside. Sometimes the silence of people is not the end of your story. Sometimes it is the moment life forces you to hear your own voice again. You were not left alone to be destroyed. You were left alone to discover what was still alive in you, because there is a part of you that pain could not kill. There is a part of you that rejection could not bury. There is a part of you that kept breathing. Even when your mind was tired, your heart was heavy, and your soul felt empty. That part is your real power, and it wakes up when you stop waiting for someone else to become your strength. The day you stop needing anyone to save you, your whole mind changes. You stop asking, "Why did they leave me?" And you start asking, "What can I build now?" You stop asking, "Why did they not choose me?" And you start asking, "Why did I keep choosing people who made me feel small?" You stop asking, "Who will come for me?" And you start saying, "I am coming for myself." That is the shift. That is the moment. That is where the old you begins to die, because the old you waited at doors that never opened. The old you kept checking your phone. The old you kept hoping for one message, one apology, one sign that they still cared. The old you kept giving people the power to decide your peace. But the new you moves different. The new you understands that peace is not something you beg for. Peace is something you protect. The new you understands that love should not make you lose yourself. The new you understands that being alone with self-respect is better than being surrounded by people who make you feel empty. This is not about becoming cold. This is about becoming clear. You can still have a good heart. You can still be kind. You can still care. But now, you care with limits. Now, you love with wisdom. Now you give without losing yourself. And that is real growth, because needing people to save you makes you weak in their hands. But standing on your own makes you free. When you no longer need someone to carry you, you become dangerous. Not dangerous because you want to hurt anyone. Not dangerous because you became cruel. Dangerous because you finally know how to stand. Dangerous because you no longer collapse when they leave. Dangerous because you no longer run back when you feel lonely. Dangerous because your pain no longer controls your choices. That is a different kind of power. A quiet power. A clean power. A power that does not need noise. You do not have to announce your comeback. You do not have to explain your healing. You do not have to prove that you are stronger now. Just stand up. Fix your routine. Control your thoughts. Clean your life. Protect your peace. Keep promises to yourself. And every day become harder to break. Because the person who learns to save themselves becomes hard to control. When you stop waiting for others to pull you out, you start building your own ladder, step by step. Day by day, choice by choice, you rise, maybe slowly, maybe quietly, maybe with tears still in your eyes, but you rise, and one day you will look back at the season where you felt abandoned, and you will understand that was not the season that ended you. That was the season that introduced you to yourself, the stronger you, the calmer you, the wiser you, the version of you that no longer begs for rescue, the version of you that knows, even when no one comes, I can still stand. Even when no one understands, I can still move. Even when no one saves me, I can still rebuild. And that is the day you stop needing anyone to save you. Chapter 2. Burn the invisible chains that still control your peace. Not every chain can be seen. Some chains are not around your hands. They are around your mind. Some chains are old memories. Some chains are old pain. Some chains are names you still think about when the room becomes quiet. Some chains are conversations you keep replaying in your head. Some chains are people who are no longer beside you, but somehow they still control your mood, your sleep, your peace, and your choices. And that is the most dangerous kind of prison, a prison no one can see. You can look free from the outside. You can smile. You can work. You can talk to people. You can act like everything is normal. But deep inside, one message, one memory, one face, one old wound can pull you back into a dark place. That is not freedom. That is emotional control. And the worst part is this: sometimes the person who controls your peace does not even know it. They are living their life. They are sleeping at night. They are moving forward. But you are still stuck in the moment they hurt you. You are still carrying the words they said. You are still trying to understand why they changed. You are still asking why they could not value you the way you valued them. And slowly, your mind becomes tired, not because life is too hard, but because you are carrying people who are no longer meant to walk with you. Listen carefully. Anything that can steal your peace has too much power over you. If one person can ignore you and ruin your whole day, that is a chain. If one memory can return and make you feel worthless again, that is a chain. If one old message can pull you back into pain, that is a chain. If you keep checking on what already broke you, that is a chain, and you cannot rebuild your life while still holding the chains that destroyed your peace. You must burn them, not with anger, not with revenge, not with hate. Burn them with a decision, a quiet decision, a strong decision, a final decision. Say to yourself, I cannot keep giving my mind to people who do not protect my heart. Because your peace is not cheap. Your heart is not a public place where anyone can come, damage it and leave. Your mind is not a storage room for old pain. Your life is not meant to be controlled by people who only gave you confusion. You must take your peace back. And taking your peace back does not always mean blocking someone. Sometimes it means blocking the habit of thinking about them. Sometimes it means stopping yourself from replaying the same story again and again. Sometimes it means not asking why anymore. Sometimes it means accepting that some people hurt you because that is who they were, not because you were not enough. This is where many people stay trapped. They keep waiting for closure from the person who caused the wound. They wait for an apology. They wait for an explanation. They wait for a message. They wait for the person to finally understand how deeply they broke them. But some people will never give you the words you need. Some people will never admit what they did. Some people will never see your pain clearly. And if your peace depends on their apology, then your peace is still in their hands. No, take it back. You do not need their apology to heal. You do not need their regret to move on. You do not need their return to feel complete. You need one thing. You need to stop letting the past sit in the seat where your future belongs. Because every time you keep looking back, your future waits. Every time you keep checking their life, your own life slows down. Every time you give energy to the person who hurt you, You take energy away from the person you are trying to become. And that is why detachment is not weakness. Detachment is power. Detachment means I still remember, but I no longer bleed. Detachment means I learned from it, but I will not live inside it. Detachment means you were part of my story, but you are not the owner of my future. That is freedom. Real freedom is not when people change. Real freedom is when their behavior no longer controls your inner world. They can leave, and you remain calm. They can talk, and you remain silent. They can misunderstand you, and you do not break your peace trying to explain. They can watch your life from far away, but they cannot pull you back, because the chain is burned. And once the chain is burned, the old door cannot open the same way again. This is how you protect your peace. You stop feeding what hurts you. You stop visiting old wounds in your mind. You stop creating fake stories about what could have been. You stop making excuses for people who had many chances to treat you better. You stop blaming yourself for someone else's lack of care. You stop giving soft access to people who handled your heart with rough hands. And slowly something beautiful happens. Your mind becomes quiet again. Your heart starts breathing again. Your energy comes back. Your focus returns. You begin to feel like yourself again. Not the old self who begged for peace, but the new self who protects it. And protection will feel strange at first, because when you are used to being controlled, peace feels unfamiliar. When you are used to chaos, calm feels boring. When you are used to chasing, silence feels empty. But stay there. Do not run back to the noise just because peace feels new. Do not return to the fire just because the cold feels lonely. Do not open the door again just because your heart misses what your mind knows was hurting you. Growth requires discipline. You must choose peace even when pain feels familiar. You must choose distance even when your emotions want closeness. You must choose yourself even when the old version of you wants to run back. Because every time you choose peace, you become stronger. Every time you do not react, you become freer. Every time you do not return, you prove to yourself that the chain is losing power, and one day the thing that used to break you will no longer move you. The name that used to shake your chest will become just a name. The memory that used to control your night will become just a lesson. The person you thought you could not live without will become proof that you survived. That is the day you know you are free, not because the past disappeared, but because the past lost its control. So burn the invisible chains. Burn the need to be chosen. Burn the need to be understood by everyone. Burn the need to return to what made you small. Burn the need to explain your worth to people who never wanted to see it. Burn the habit of giving your peace away for free. Because your peace is your power. Your peace is your home. Your peace is the ground you stand on. And if something keeps stealing that peace, it does not belong in your life, not in your phone, not in your heart, not in your mind, not in your future. Let it go. Walk away from the invisible prison. Close the door with calm hands and do not look back like you lost something. Look forward like you finally found yourself. Chapter 3. Destroy the old version that kept running back. The old version of you was not weak because it loved. The old version of you was weak because it kept returning to places where love was no longer safe. And this is one of the hardest truths to accept. Sometimes the person who hurts you once is not the biggest danger. The bigger danger is the version of you that keeps going back. The version of you that keeps hoping. The version of you that keeps waiting. The version of you that keeps saying, maybe this time will be different. But deep inside you already know. You already saw the signs. You already felt the distance. You already heard the coldness in their voice. You already noticed how your heart became heavy around them. Still, the old you returned. Not because you were foolish, not because you had no value, but because you were attached to the memory of who they used to be. You were not running back to reality. You were running back to an old picture in your mind. A picture where they cared more. A picture where they listened better. A picture where things felt safe. A picture where you still believed they would choose you the way you chose them. But that picture was not your life anymore. That was a memory, and sometimes memory becomes a trap. It makes you hold a door open for someone who already walked away in their heart. It makes you forgive without change. It makes you accept small pieces of attention and call it love. It makes you ignore disrespect because you are afraid of losing the person completely. That old version of you kept going back because it wanted proof. Proof that you mattered. Proof that your pain was seen. Proof that your love was not wasted. Proof that they could still become the person you once believed they were. But listen carefully. You cannot heal while you are still asking the wound to explain itself. You cannot rebuild while you keep sleeping beside the same fire that burned you. You cannot become new while the old version of you keeps opening the same door. That version must end. Not with noise, not with revenge, not with a long speech, but with a final decision inside your heart. A decision that says, I am done betraying myself just to keep someone close. Because every time you run back to what broke you, you teach your mind that pain is normal. Every time you accept less than respect, you teach your heart to survive on crumbs. Every time you forgive without change, you make your peace cheaper. And your peace should never be cheap. Your peace is your home. Your mind is your home. Your life is your home. And not everyone deserves a key. The old you gave keys to people who only knew how to enter and create damage. The old you thought love meant staying no matter how much it hurt. The old you thought loyalty meant losing yourself slowly. The old you thought patience meant accepting the same pain again and again. But the new you must learn something different. Love without self-respect becomes a cage. Loyalty without limits becomes self-punishment. Patience without wisdom becomes silent suffering. And you were not born to suffer for people who do not protect your heart. You were not born to keep proving your worth to people who already had the chance to value you. You were not born to spend your whole life running back to the same pain, hoping it will finally become peace. No. That chapter is over. The old version must be destroyed. Destroy the version of you that checks the phone every few minutes. Destroy the version of you that waits for one message to feel alive. Destroy the version of you that forgets all the pain the moment they show a little softness. Destroy the version of you that says, maybe I was the problem, when deep inside you know you gave too much. Destroy the version of you that keeps making excuses for people who keep choosing to hurt you. Destroy the version of you that would rather be broken with someone than peaceful alone, because that version cannot enter the next level of your life. That version is too tired, too attached, too hungry for love from the wrong place, too ready to explain, too ready to return, too ready to accept less. And the life you are trying to build needs a stronger you, a calmer you, a wiser you, a you who can miss someone and still not go back, a you who can feel lonely and still not choose damage, a you who can remember the good times and still respect the truth. Because growth is not about pretending you never cared. You cared deeply. That is why it hurt. But growth means you stop letting your care become a weapon against you. Growth means you stop using your soft heart as a reason to stay in hard places. Growth means you finally understand that missing someone is not a sign to return. Sometimes missing someone is just your heart releasing the last pieces of the past. Let it release. Let it ache. Let it feel strange. Let the old habits scream, but do not run back, because the first few days of self-respect may feel like pain. The first few days of silence may feel like punishment. The first few nights without checking, without chasing, without explaining, may feel heavy. But stay there. That pain is not the pain of losing yourself. That pain is the pain of returning to yourself. There is a difference. One pain destroys you. The other pain rebuilds you. When you stop running back, your mind begins to clear. You start seeing things as they were, not as you wanted them to be. You start remembering the disrespect you kept hiding from yourself. You start noticing how tired you were. You start realizing how much energy you gave away. You start understanding that you were not asking for too much. You were asking the wrong people, and that truth may hurt at first, but later it will free you, because once you accept the truth, You stop fighting with reality. You stop trying to make people become what they never wanted to be. You stop trying to win love from people who only gave you confusion. You stop returning to rooms where your soul could not breathe. And slowly, the new you begins to rise. The new you speaks less. The new you watches more. The new you trusts actions, not sweet words. The new you no longer falls for small attention after big disrespect. The new you no longer gets pulled back by a soft voice, a late message, or a fake apology. The new you understands that change without action is only noise, and noise can no longer control you. This is where real power begins, when the past calls your name and you do not answer. When the old place feels familiar, but you choose peace. When loneliness whispers, go back, but self-respect says, keep walking. When your heart misses them, but your mind remembers what they cost you. That is strength, not the strength people clap for, not the strength they see online. A quiet strength, the kind you build in private, the kind no one notices at first, the kind that saves your life, because the old version of you would have gone back just to feel something, but the new version of you can sit in the silence and still choose yourself. That is a powerful change. That is a dangerous change, because a person who can survive their own loneliness can no longer be controlled by someone else's attention. Read that again in your heart. When you can sit alone and still feel whole, no one can use absence to punish you. When you can sleep without their message, no one can use silence to control you. When you can walk away without begging, no one can use love as a chain. That is freedom, and this freedom begins when you destroy the old version that kept running back. You do not have to hate your old self. That old self carried you through painful days. That old self survived things no one saw. That old self loved with a pure heart. But now, that old self must rest. You thank that version, then you bury it. You say, you helped me survive, but you cannot lead me anymore. Because survival is not the same as living. You are not here only to survive pain. You are here to build a life where your peace is protected. You are here to become someone who no longer needs to be hurt twice to learn once. You are here to become someone who can see a red flag and walk away early. You are here to become someone who chooses calm over chaos, truth over fantasy, and self-respect over attachment. So when the past returns with a soft voice, remember the pain it brought with it. When the old door opens again, remember how dark that room became. When your heart feels tempted to run back, place your hand on your chest and say, I am not that person anymore. Say it until your mind believes it. I am not that person anymore. The person who begged is gone. The person who chased is gone. The person who waited at closed doors is gone. The person who confused pain with love is gone. Now you are becoming someone new, someone steady, someone focused, someone who can love deeply, but never lose themselves again. And that is the real rebirth, not when they come back, not when they apologize, not when they finally see your worth. Your rebirth begins when you no longer need them to. You stop needing their return. You stop needing their regret. You stop needing their approval. You stop needing their eyes on your growth. You simply rise, quietly, cleanly, fully, and one day, the old life will try to reach for you again, but it will find no one there, because the old you is gone, and the new you knows better than to run back. Chapter 4. Master the power of walking alone without breaking. Walking alone is one of the hardest parts of rebuilding yourself, because in the beginning, it feels like loss. It feels like silence. It feels like everyone has a place to belong. But you are standing in the middle of life, with no one beside you, no one clapping, no one checking on you, no one asking if your heart is tired, no one seeing how much strength it takes just to keep going. And this is where many people break, not because they are weak, but because they never learned how to stand without leaning on someone. They never learned how to walk without needing a hand. They never learned how to be alone without feeling worthless. But listen carefully. Walking alone is not the same as being abandoned. Sometimes walking alone means life is taking you away from people who were slowing you down. Sometimes walking alone means you are being removed from noise, fake comfort, weak habits, and old places where your soul could not grow. Sometimes walking alone is not punishment. Sometimes it is protection, because there are people who can stand beside you and still make you feel empty. There are people who can talk to you every day and still never understand your heart. There are people who can be close to you and still keep you far from your own peace. So do not think every empty space is a loss. Some empty spaces are a gift. Some empty spaces are where your strength begins to breathe. Some empty spaces are where you finally hear yourself again. When you walk alone, you meet the real you, not the version that tries to please everyone, not the version that laughs so people do not ask questions, not the version that hides pain just to look strong. The real you, the tired you, the honest you, the part of you that still wants peace, the part of you that still wants to rise, the part of you that has been waiting for your attention. And at first, meeting yourself can feel heavy, because when the noise is gone, you have to face the truth. You have to face the habits you used to ignore. You have to face the pain you kept hiding. You have to face the choices that kept taking you back to the same place. You have to face the fact that some people were not holding you. They were holding you back. That truth can hurt, but truth is the door to power. You cannot build a strong life with soft lies. You cannot keep pretending that the wrong people are good for your peace. You cannot keep calling chaos love. You cannot keep calling attachment loyalty. You cannot keep calling fear patience. At some point, you must stand alone and say, I would rather walk with pain than stay where I keep losing myself. That is where your power begins. Not when everyone supports you, not when life becomes easy, not when someone finally understands. Your power begins when you keep walking even while your heart feels heavy. Because walking alone teaches you what comfort never could. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you self-control. It teaches you how to breathe through loneliness without running back to damage. It teaches you how to hold your own heart instead of handing it to people who keep dropping it. It teaches you how to become steady. And steady people are rare. Most people only move when someone pushes them. Most people only feel strong when someone praises them. Most people only feel valuable when someone chooses them. But when you master walking alone, your power no longer depends on other people. You can be quiet and still be strong. You can be unseen and still be building. You can be alone and still be whole. That is a different level of mind. A weak mind needs attention to feel alive. A strong mind can grow in silence. A weak mind runs back when loneliness comes. A strong mind sits with loneliness and learns from it. A weak mind needs people to approve every step. A strong mind keeps walking even when no one understands the path. This is why walking alone is not just a season, it is training. It is the training that makes you harder to control. Because when you fear being alone, people can use that fear against you. They can leave and know you will beg. They can go silent and know you will chase. They can give you little attention and know you will return. They can treat you badly and know you will stay because you fear losing them. But once you learn to walk alone, that power ends. Their silence no longer breaks you. Their absence no longer destroys you. Their coldness no longer makes you question your worth. Because you have already faced the one thing you feared most. You have faced being alone, and you survived it. Not only survived it, you grew inside it. You became calmer inside it. You became sharper inside it. You became stronger inside it. That is why loneliness can become a weapon if you use it right. Not a weapon to hurt others, a weapon to defeat the weak parts of yourself. Use loneliness to build your body. Use loneliness to train your mind. Use loneliness to clean your space. Use loneliness to fix your routine. Use loneliness to study your patterns. Use loneliness to understand why you accepted less than you deserved. Use loneliness to become so grounded that you never again choose damage just to avoid silence. Because silence is not your enemy. Silence is a mirror. It shows you what is still broken. It shows you what is still hungry. It shows you what is still attached. It shows you where you still need to grow. And if you do not run from that mirror, it will change you. The old you saw loneliness as proof that nobody cared. The new you sees loneliness as a private room where power is built, The old you feared empty nights. The new you uses empty nights to rebuild. The old you needed noise to escape pain. The new you uses quiet to understand pain. This is growth. This is maturity. This is how a person becomes solid, not by avoiding loneliness, by walking through it without becoming bitter. That matters, because some people walk alone and become cold. They stop caring. They stop trusting. They turn every wound into anger. That is not strength. That is pain wearing armor. Real strength is different. Real strength means you can walk alone and still keep a clean heart. You can be hurt and still not become cruel. You can be disappointed and still not lose your values. You can be alone and still not hate the world. That is power. A strong person does not need to become ugly because life was hard. A strong person learns the lesson and keeps the heart protected, not poisoned. There is a big difference. When you master walking alone, you stop explaining every move. You stop needing people to understand your distance. You stop making announcements about your healing. You stop telling everyone what you are building. You simply move quietly, step by step, day by day. You begin to enjoy your own company. You begin to like the peace that once felt strange. You begin to notice that your energy feels cleaner when you are not around people who drain you. You begin to realize that being alone with peace is better than being surrounded with pressure. And slowly, the fear leaves. You no longer panic when your phone is quiet. You no longer feel small when you are not invited. You no longer feel broken when people move on without you. You no longer chase seats at tables where your soul feels unwelcome. You build your own table. You build your own rhythm. You build your own life. And that is when walking alone becomes beautiful, because now you are not walking alone out of pain. You are walking alone out of choice. You are not alone because no one wants you. You are alone because you finally want yourself. You finally choose your peace. You finally choose your growth. You finally choose a life where you do not have to shrink to be accepted. That is the real shift. You stop asking, "Who is walking with me?" And you start asking, "Am I walking in the right direction?" Because the wrong company can make the right path feel wrong, and the right path can feel lonely when you first start walking it. Do not be fooled by that. A lonely correct path is still better than a crowded wrong one. Many people will not understand your silence. They will think you changed. They will say you became distant. They will wonder why you no longer show up the same way. Let them wonder. You are not here to keep everyone comfortable with the old you. You are here to become free. And freedom often looks like distance at first. Freedom looks like not replying to things that disturb your peace. Freedom looks like leaving rooms where your spirit feels heavy. Freedom looks like choosing sleep over overthinking. Freedom looks like choosing discipline over drama. Freedom looks like choosing your future over your feelings. This is not easy, but every time you choose yourself, the new you gets stronger. Every time you keep walking, the old fear gets weaker. Every time you refuse to go back, your inner strength becomes deeper. And one day you will look at your own life and realize something powerful. The path you once feared became the path that saved you. The silence you once hated became the silence that healed you. The loneliness you once ran from became the place where you found your strength. That is the power of walking alone without breaking. You do not break because someone left. You do not break because no one clapped. You do not break because the path feels quiet. You do not break because you know who you are becoming. You know this lonely season is not empty. It is shaping you. It is training you. It is removing the need to be carried. It is teaching your feet to trust the ground beneath them. Keep walking, even when your heart feels tired. Keep walking, even when no one sees the battle inside you. Keep walking, even when the old life calls your name. Keep walking, because every step you take alone is building the version of you that no crowd can control. And the day you can walk alone without breaking, you become free in a way most people will never understand. Chapter 4. Master the power of walking alone without breaking. Walking alone is one of the hardest parts of rebuilding yourself, because in the beginning, it feels like loss. It feels like silence. It feels like everyone has a place to belong, but you are standing in the middle of life with no one beside you, no one clapping, no one checking on you, no one asking if your heart is tired, no one seeing how much strength it takes just to keep going. And this is where many people break, not because they are weak, but because they never learned how to stand without leaning on someone. They never learned how to walk without needing a hand. They never learned how to be alone without feeling worthless. But listen carefully, walking alone is not the same as being abandoned. Sometimes walking alone means life is taking you away from people who were slowing you down. Sometimes walking alone means you are being removed from noise, fake comfort, weak habits, and old places where your soul could not grow. Sometimes walking alone is not punishment. Sometimes it is protection, because there are people who can stand beside you and still make you feel empty. There are people who can talk to you every day and still never understand your heart. There are people who can be close to you and still keep you far from your own peace. So do not think every empty space is a loss. Some empty spaces are a gift. Some empty spaces are where your strength begins to breathe. Some empty spaces are where you finally hear yourself again. When you walk alone, you meet the real you, not the version that tries to please everyone, not the version that laughs so people do not ask questions, not the version that hides pain just to look strong. The real you, the tired you, the honest you, the part of you that still wants peace, the part of you that still wants to rise, the part of you that has been waiting for your attention. And at first, meeting yourself can feel heavy, because when the noise is gone, you have to face the truth. You have to face the habits you used to ignore. You have to face the pain you kept hiding. You have to face the choices that kept taking you back to the same place. You have to face the fact that some people were not holding you. They were holding you back. That truth can hurt. But truth is the door to power. You cannot build a strong life with soft lies. You cannot keep pretending that the wrong people are good for your peace. You cannot keep calling chaos love. You cannot keep calling attachment loyalty. You cannot keep calling fear patience. At some point, you must stand alone and say, I would rather walk with pain than stay where I keep losing myself. That is where your power begins. Not when everyone supports you, not when life becomes easy, not when someone finally understands. Your power begins when you keep walking even while your heart feels heavy. Because walking alone teaches you what comfort never could. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you self-control. It teaches you how to breathe through loneliness without running back to damage. It teaches you how to hold your own heart instead of handing it to people who keep dropping it. It teaches you how to become steady, and steady people are rare. Most people only move when someone pushes them. Most people only feel strong when someone praises them. Most people only feel valuable when someone chooses them. But when you master walking alone, your power no longer depends on other people. You can be quiet and still be strong. You can be unseen and still be building. You can be alone and still be whole. That is a different level of mind. A weak mind needs attention to feel alive. A strong mind can grow in silence. A weak mind runs back when loneliness comes. A strong mind sits with loneliness and learns from it. A weak mind needs people to approve every step. A strong mind keeps walking even when no one understands the path. This is why walking alone is not just a season, it is training. It is the training that makes you harder to control. Because when you fear being alone, people can use that fear against you. They can leave and know you will beg. They can go silent and know you will chase. They can give you little attention and know you will return. They can treat you badly and know you will stay because you fear losing them. But once you learn to walk alone, that power ends. Their silence no longer breaks you. Their absence no longer destroys you. Their coldness no longer makes you question your worth, because you have already faced the one thing you feared most. You have faced being alone, and you survived it. Not only survived it, you grew inside it. You became calmer inside it. You became sharper inside it. You became stronger inside it. That is why loneliness can become a weapon if you use it right. Not a weapon to hurt others, a weapon to defeat the weak parts of yourself. Use loneliness to build your body, Use loneliness to train your mind. Use loneliness to clean your space. Use loneliness to fix your routine. Use loneliness to study your patterns. Use loneliness to understand why you accepted less than you deserved. Use loneliness to become so grounded that you never again choose damage just to avoid silence. Because silence is not your enemy. Silence is a mirror. It shows you what is still broken. It shows you what is still hungry. It shows you what is still attached. It shows you where you still need to grow. And if you do not run from that mirror, it will change you. The old you saw loneliness as proof that nobody cared. The new you sees loneliness as a private room where power is built. The old you feared empty nights. The new you uses empty nights to rebuild. The old you needed noise to escape pain. The new you uses quiet to understand pain. This is growth. This is maturity. This is how a person becomes solid, not by avoiding loneliness, by walking through it without becoming bitter. That matters. Because some people walk alone and become cold. They stop caring. They stop trusting. They turn every wound into anger. That is not strength. That is pain wearing armor. Real strength is different. Real strength means you can walk alone and still keep a clean heart. You can be hurt and still not become cruel. You can be disappointed and still not lose your values. You can be alone and still not hate the world. That is power. A strong person does not need to become ugly because life was hard. A strong person learns the lesson and keeps the heart protected. Protected, not poisoned. There is a big difference. When you master walking alone, you stop explaining every move. You stop needing people to understand your distance. You stop making announcements about your healing. You stop telling everyone what you are building. You simply move quietly, step by step, day by day. You begin to enjoy your own company. You begin to like the peace that once felt strange. You begin to notice that your energy feels cleaner when you are not around people who drain you. You begin to realize that being alone with peace is better than being surrounded with pressure. And slowly, the fear leaves. You no longer panic when your phone is quiet. You no longer feel small when you are not invited. You no longer feel broken when people move on without you. You no longer chase seats at tables where your soul feels unwelcome. You build your own table. You build your own rhythm. You build your own life. And that is when walking alone becomes beautiful. Because now you are not walking alone out of pain. You are walking alone out of choice. You are not alone because no one wants you. You are alone because you finally want yourself. You finally choose your peace. You finally choose your growth. You finally choose a life where you do not have to shrink to be accepted. That is the real shift. You stop asking, who is walking with me? And you start asking, am I walking in the right direction? Because the wrong company can make the right path feel wrong. And the right path can feel lonely when you first start walking it. Do not be fooled by that. A lonely correct path is still better than a crowded wrong one. Many people will not understand your silence. They will think you changed. They will say you became distant. They will wonder why you no longer show up the same way. Let them wonder. You are not here to keep everyone comfortable with the old you. You are here to become free. And freedom often looks like distance at first. Freedom looks like not replying to things that disturb your peace. Freedom looks like leaving rooms where your spirit feels heavy. Freedom looks like choosing sleep over overthinking. Freedom looks like choosing discipline over drama. Freedom looks like choosing your future over your feelings. This is not easy, but every time you choose yourself, the new you gets stronger. Every time you keep walking, the old fear gets weaker. Every time you refuse to go back, your inner strength becomes deeper. And one day you will look at your own life and realize something powerful. The path you once feared became the path that saved you. The silence you once hated became the silence that healed you. The loneliness you once ran from became the place where you found your strength. That is the power of walking alone without breaking. You do not break because someone left. You do not break because no one clapped. You do not break because the path feels quiet. You do not break because you know who you are becoming. You know this lonely season is not empty. It is shaping you. It is training you. It is removing the need to be carried. It is teaching your feet to trust the ground beneath them. Keep walking, even when your heart feels tired. Keep walking, even when no one sees the battle inside you. Keep walking, even when the old life calls your name. Keep walking, because every step you take alone is building the version of you that no crowd can control. And the day you can walk alone without breaking, you become free in a way most people will never understand. Chapter 5. Train your mind to become silent, sharp, and unbreakable. Your mind is your real battlefield. Most people think life breaks them from the outside. They think people broke them. They think failure broke them. They think rejection broke them. They think the pain broke them. But the truth is deeper. What happens outside you only becomes powerful when it enters your mind and starts controlling you. A word can hurt you once, but your mind can repeat that word 1,000 times. A person can leave you once, but your mind can make you feel abandoned every night. A mistake can happen once, but your mind can punish you for years. This is why you must train your mind, because an untrained mind becomes your enemy. It takes small pain and makes it heavy. It takes one rejection and turns it into a story that says, I am not enough. It takes one bad season and tells you your life is over. It takes one person leaving and whispers, nobody will ever stay. And if you believe every thought, you become a prisoner inside your own head. So the first rule is this: do not believe every thought your mind gives you. Some thoughts are not truth. Some thoughts are fear. Some thoughts are old pain. Some thoughts are memories trying to control today. Some thoughts are wounds speaking louder than wisdom. You must learn to watch your mind. When a painful thought comes, do not run with it. Do not build a whole story from it. Do not let it drag you into the past. Stop, breathe, look at it, and ask yourself, is this helping me become stronger, or is this pulling me back? That one question can save you from many weak choices. Because when your mind is weak, your emotions drive your life. You reply too fast. You beg too quickly. You explain too much. You react to every small thing. You give people power because you cannot control the storm inside you. But when your mind becomes trained, everything changes. You stop reacting like the old you. You stop giving answers to people who only want to disturb your peace. You stop letting one message change your whole mood. You stop letting one memory pull you back into a place you already escaped. A trained mind is not a mind that feels nothing. No, you still feel pain. You still feel sadness. You still miss people. You still have heavy days. But now, pain does not drive the car. You do. Sadness can sit beside you, but it cannot take the wheel. Loneliness can knock on your door, but it cannot move back into your house. Fear can speak, but it cannot make the final decision. That is what it means to become unbreakable. Not that nothing hurts you, but that nothing controls you. And to reach that level, you must become silent. Silence is not weakness. Silence is training. When someone disrespects you and you do not react, that is training. When someone misunderstands you and you do not waste your life proving yourself, that is training. When your past calls you back and you do not answer, that is training. When you want to speak from pain but you choose calm, that is training. Every moment of silence builds power inside you, because a person who cannot control their mouth cannot control their life. Your words are energy. Every time you explain to the wrong person, you lose energy. Every time you argue with someone committed to misunderstanding you, you lose energy. Every time you defend yourself to people who already made up their mind, you lose energy. And when your energy is always leaking, you cannot rebuild. So speak less, not because you have nothing to say, but because not everyone deserves access to your inner world. A silent mind is a powerful mind. It observes, it listens, it understands, it moves only when the time is right. Most people are easy to read because they react to everything. You can control them with attention. You can control them with silence. You can control them with praise. You can control them with rejection. But a silent person is different. You do not know what they are building. You do not know what they are thinking. You do not know how much stronger they are becoming. They are not loud, but they are growing. They are not explaining, but they are learning. They are not chasing, but they are rising. That is why silence scares weak people, because silence means they no longer have easy access to you. Now, after silence, your mind must become sharp. A sharp mind does not live in fantasy. A sharp mind sees things clearly. It does not ignore signs. It does not dress disrespect as love. It does not call confusion a connection. It does not keep giving people chances when their actions keep showing the truth. A sharp mind knows the difference between what you want and what is real. And that difference matters, because many people destroy themselves by loving the idea of someone, not the truth of someone. They love the memory. They love the beginning. They love the hope. They love the version they created inside their head. But a sharp mind says, what are their actions showing me now? Not last year, not in the beginning, not when things were sweet. Now, how do they treat you now? Do they bring peace now? Do they respect you now? Do they make your life lighter now? Do they protect your heart now? A sharp mind asks hard questions, and hard questions save you from soft traps. This is why you must train your mind to stop lying to you. Stop saying maybe they will change when they keep proving they will not. Stop saying, maybe I should give one more chance, when you already gave many. Stop saying, maybe it was my fault, when you know you were the one trying to hold everything together. Stop saying, I cannot live without them, when you are already living without the peace they stole from you. A sharp mind chooses truth over comfort, and truth may hurt for a moment, but lies can destroy your whole life. So become sharp. See people clearly. See yourself clearly. See your habits clearly. Ask yourself, where am I still weak? Where am I still attached? Where do I keep losing control? What keeps pulling me back? What habit keeps stealing my future? What emotion keeps making me return to pain? These questions are not easy, but they make you powerful, because you cannot change what you refuse to see. After silence and sharpness comes the final level. You become unbreakable. But understand this clearly. Unbreakable does not mean hard like stone. It means stable like a mountain. A stone can crack, but a mountain stands through seasons. Rain comes, wind comes, storms come, heat comes, cold comes. Still, the mountain stands. That is the mind you are building. A mind that does not fall apart every time life becomes hard. A mind that does not lose direction every time someone leaves. A mind that does not beg for comfort every time loneliness appears. A mind that can feel pressure and still keep moving. A mind that can carry pain and still stay focused. How do you build that mind? You build it daily, not in one big moment, not in one emotional night, not by listening to powerful words and doing nothing. You build it through small choices repeated again and again. Wake up when you said you would wake up. Do the work when you do not feel like doing it. Keep your space clean when your mind feels heavy. Move your body when sadness wants you to stay still. Eat better, sleep better, speak better, think better, choose better. Every small promise you keep to yourself becomes a brick inside your mind, and every broken promise makes the mind weaker. So start small. Do not try to change your whole life in one day. Control 1 hour, then one morning, then one day, then 1 week. That is how strength is built. Slowly, quietly, deeply. People may not see it at first. They may think nothing is changing, but inside, you are becoming different. You are training your reactions. You are cleaning your thoughts. You are fixing your habits. You are cutting your emotional leaks. You are becoming someone who does not fall apart like before. And one day, the same thing that used to destroy you will happen again. A person may leave, a plan may fail, a door may close, a memory may return. But this time, you will not collapse. You will feel it. You will breathe. You will stand, and you will say, this hurts, but it will not own me. That is the voice of an unbreakable mind. Not a mind without pain, a mind with authority, a mind that knows who is in charge. You, not fear, not the past, not people, not loneliness, not rejection. You. This is why your mind must become your strongest place, Because if your mind is strong, you can rebuild from anything. You can lose people and still find yourself. You can face silence and still stay calm. You can carry pain and still move forward. You can start again with nothing and still become something powerful. But if your mind is weak, even a small problem becomes a mountain. So protect your mind. Guard what you watch. Guard who you listen to. Guard what you repeat to yourself. Guard the stories you create inside your head. Because your mind believes what you feed it. Feed it fear, and it will create weakness. Feed it discipline, and it will create strength. Feed it anger, and it will create chaos. Feed it peace, and it will create clarity. Feed it excuses, and it will keep you stuck. Feed it truth, and it will set you free. This is your work now, not to control the world, but to control your inner world. You cannot control who leaves. You cannot control who understands. You cannot control who values you. You cannot control what people say, but you can control your response. You can control your next step. You can control your focus. You can control what you allow into your mind. And the person who controls their mind controls their life. So train your mind. Make it silent. Make it sharp. Make it unbreakable. Let your silence protect your energy. Let your sharpness protect your future. Let your strength protect your peace. And when life tries to shake you again, do not beg the storm to stop. Become the person who can stand inside it, calm, focused, still, because once your mind becomes trained, life can hurt you, but it cannot own you. Chapter 6. Turn your pain into a system that builds you daily. Pain is not enough. Pain alone does not make you strong. Many people are in pain, but they stay the same for years. They cry, they overthink, they blame life. They remember what happened again and again. But nothing changes, because pain without direction becomes poison. Pain without discipline becomes self-destruction. Pain without a system becomes a dark room where your mind keeps hurting itself. So understand this clearly. Your pain is powerful, but only if you use it. If you leave pain sitting inside you, it will eat your peace. It will make you tired. It will make you angry. It will make you lose focus. It will make you doubt yourself. It will make you run back to things you already escaped. But if you give your pain a job, it becomes fuel. If you give your pain a direction, it becomes strength. If you give your pain a routine, it becomes your greatest advantage. That is how you rebuild, not by pretending you are not hurt, not by acting like you feel nothing, not by hiding your pain behind a fake smile. You rebuild by taking the same pain that was supposed to break you and turning it into something that builds you every single day. When your heart hurts, move your body. When your mind feels heavy, clean your room. When you feel lost, write down your next step. When you feel weak, keep one small promise to yourself. When sadness tells you to stay in bed, stand up anyway. When the past tells you to look back, choose one action that moves you forward. This is where power begins. Not in big words, not in loud motivation, but in small actions repeated daily. Because your life does not change from one emotional night. Your life changes from one strong system. A system is simple. It means you do not wait for your mood to save you. You do not wait to feel ready. You do not wait for life to become easy. You create rules for yourself, and you follow them even when your feelings are weak. That is discipline. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect. Discipline means, even though I am hurt, I will not abandon myself. Discipline means, even though my heart is heavy, I will still do what is good for me. Discipline means, even though no one is watching, I will still build my life. This is how pain becomes power. You wake up and make your bed, not because it is a small thing, but because it tells your mind, I am in control. You clean your space, not because a clean room fixes everything, but because order outside you helps create order inside you. You train your body, not because you want to prove anything to anyone, but because a stronger body helps carry a tired mind. You eat better, you sleep better, you speak less, you waste less time. You protect your energy, you stop feeding old wounds, you stop checking things that hurt you. You stop giving your whole day to memories that cannot change your future. That is a system. Simple, clear, daily, and this system becomes your ladder out of darkness. One step at a time, one morning at a time, one choice at a time. At first, it will feel hard because pain wants comfort. Pain wants the old habit. Pain wants you to stay still. Pain wants you to scroll for hours. Pain wants you to overthink at night. Pain wants you to call the wrong person. Pain wants you to return to the place that broke you. But discipline speaks differently. Discipline says get up. Discipline says do the work. Discipline says do not go back. Discipline says this feeling will pass, but the choice you make now will shape your future. And that is why your system must be stronger than your mood, because your mood changes every day. Some days you feel strong, some days you feel tired, some days you feel calm, some days you feel like giving up. If you build your life on feelings, your life will shake every day. But if you build your life on a system, you can keep moving even when feelings rise and fall. That is how strong people are made. They do not wake up strong every morning. They wake up human. They feel pain too. They feel fear too. They feel loneliness too. They feel tired too. But they have a system that carries them when motivation disappears. And that is what you need. A system for your morning, a system for your mind, a system for your body, a system for your peace, a system for your future. Start with your morning, because the way you start your morning tells your mind who is in charge. Do not wake up and give your first energy to your phone. Do not open your eyes and enter other people's lives before you enter your own. Do not start your day by checking who posted, who replied, who ignored you, who moved on. That is how you lose yourself before the day even begins. Start with yourself. Sit up. Breathe, drink water, clean your space, move your body. Write one thing you must do today, just one, and do it. That one action may look small, but it tells your mind, I still have power. And when your mind hears that every morning, it begins to change. Then build a system for your thoughts, because your thoughts can either heal you or hurt you. Do not let your mind run wild all day. Do not let it keep replaying what broke you. Do not let it build stories that make you feel small. When the old pain comes, answer it with truth. If your mind says they left because you were not enough, say no. They left because they were not meant to stay. If your mind says you will never recover, say I am recovering right now. If your mind says you lost everything, say, I lost what was not safe for me. If your mind says go back, say, I have already paid too much to learn this lesson. This is not fake confidence. This is mental training. You are teaching your mind to stop turning pain into a prison. You are teaching your mind to turn pain into wisdom. Then build a system for your body, because your body holds pain too. A tired body makes the mind weaker. A weak body makes emotions heavier. So move, walk, stretch, train, breathe deeply. Let your body know you are still alive. Every time you move when sadness wants you still, you win a small battle. Every time you train when your mind says no, you build trust with yourself. Every time you choose strength over comfort, something inside you wakes up. You do not need to become perfect. You just need to stop abandoning your body when your heart hurts. Then build a system for your peace. This may be the most important one, because if you do not protect your peace, your pain will keep finding new doors to enter. Protect your peace from old conversations. Protect your peace from people who bring confusion. Protect your peace from places that make you feel small. Protect your peace from songs, posts, messages, and memories that pull you back into weakness. You cannot heal while feeding the same wound every day. You cannot grow while touching the same fire. You cannot become new while living inside old pain. So create rules. No checking what hurts you. No begging for answers. No returning to disrespect. No explaining yourself to people who only want to misunderstand. No giving your night to overthinking someone who does not deserve your morning. These rules are not harsh. They are protection. A person who is rebuilding must protect the construction site. You cannot build a new life while allowing old damage to walk in whenever it wants. Then build a system for your future. Every day do something your future self will thank you for. Read one page. Save a little money. Learn one skill. Improve one habit. Finish one task. Remove one distraction. Take one step. Do not wait for a perfect plan. Perfect plans often become excuses. Just take the next clean step. Because the future is not built by dreams alone. The future is built by repeated actions. Small actions. Boring actions. Hidden actions. Actions no one claps for. Actions no one sees. But these are the actions that change everything. The world sees the result, but it never sees the quiet system behind it. People will see your confidence one day, but they will not see the nights you fought your thoughts. People will see your discipline one day, but they will not see the mornings you stood up with a heavy heart. People will see your peace one day, but they will not see how many times you refused to go back. People will see your strength one day, but they will not see the pain you turned into structure. And that is okay. You are not building for applause. You are building for freedom. You are building so your life no longer depends on someone else's mood. You are building so one person leaving cannot destroy your whole world. You are building so your future becomes stronger than your past. You are building so your pain becomes proof, not punishment. Proof that you survived, proof that you learned, proof that you changed, proof that what hurt you did not own you. But remember this, your system must be simple. If you make it too hard, you will quit. Do not start with 10 new habits. Start with 3. 1 for your body, 1 for your mind, 1 for your future. For your body, move every day. For your mind, speak one strong truth to yourself every day. For your future, finish one important task every day. That is enough to begin. Do it when you feel good. Do it when you feel bad. Do it when you are motivated. Do it when you are tired. Do it when nobody notices. Do it when your heart is still healing. Because every day you follow the system, you send a message to yourself. I am not helpless. I am not finished. I am not waiting to be saved. I am building, and a person who builds every day becomes dangerous. Not dangerous to others. Dangerous to the old life. Dangerous to weakness. Dangerous to excuses. Dangerous to every habit that tried to keep them small. One day the pain will still be part of your story, but it will not be the main character anymore. Your discipline will be, your growth will be, your peace will be, your strength will be. You will look back and realize the same pain that made you cry also made you rise, but only because you did not waste it. You gave it a job. You made it wake you up. You made it clean your life. You made it sharpen your mind. You made it build your body. You made it protect your peace. You made it push you toward your future. That is how pain becomes your greatest advantage. Not because pain is good. Pain hurts. Pain breaks. Pain teaches through fire. But when you stop letting pain control you, and you start using pain to build yourself, everything changes. The wound becomes wisdom. The loss becomes direction. The silence becomes focus. The heartbreak becomes discipline. The loneliness becomes strength. And the person who was supposed to fall starts rising every day, quietly, steadily, powerfully. So do not ask, why did this pain happen to me forever? Ask, what can I build from this pain? Ask, what system can I create from this wound? Ask, what stronger version of me is trying to be born from this? Because your pain is not the end. It is raw material, and your discipline is the fire that turns it into power. Take the pain, shape it, use it, build with it, and day by day, become someone your old wounds can no longer recognize. Chapter 7. Become the anchor that no storm can move. This is the final level of rebuilding yourself. You stop searching for someone to hold you. You stop waiting for life to become gentle. You stop needing the world to calm down before you can feel strong. You become the anchor. And this is not a small thing, because for a long time, you may have looked outside yourself for safety. You wanted someone to stay so you could feel stable. You wanted someone to understand so you could feel seen. You wanted someone to support you so you could feel strong. You wanted someone to love you properly, so you could finally stop feeling empty. But life taught you something painful. People can change, people can leave, people can misunderstand, people can promise forever and disappear in a season. People can hold your hand one day and act like they never knew you the next. And if your peace is tied to people who can change at any moment, your whole life will keep shaking. So the chapter becomes clear. You cannot make unstable people your anchor. You cannot make someone else's love your only ground. You cannot build your whole life on a person who can wake up tomorrow and choose distance. That does not mean you hate people. That does not mean you stop loving. That does not mean you become cold. It means you become rooted. It means your peace no longer depends on who stays, who leaves, who claps, who understands, who replies, or who forgets you. It means you become strong enough to love people without handing them the keys to your whole life. This is what it means to become the anchor. You stand, even when the storm comes. You breathe. Even when the pressure rises, you think clearly. Even when your emotions are loud, you keep moving. Even when no one walks beside you, you do not fall apart like before. Not because life became easy, but because something inside you became solid. A storm can shake the water. A storm can bend the trees. A storm can make noise. A storm can scare everyone around you. But an anchor does not argue with the storm. An anchor does not beg the storm to be kind. An anchor does not chase the wind. An anchor simply holds. That is the kind of person you are becoming. Someone who holds. When pain comes, you hold your mind. When people leave, you hold your peace. When life becomes uncertain, you hold your direction. When the past tries to pull you back, you hold your ground. When fear starts speaking, you hold your truth. This is rare because most people are moved by everything. One message can change their mood. One opinion can ruin their day. One rejection can make them doubt their worth. One memory can pull them back into old pain. One person's silence can make them feel like they are nothing. They live like leaves in the wind, always moving, always reacting, always waiting for someone outside them to give them peace. But not you, not anymore. You have already been through the fire. You have already seen what happens when you give your power away. You have already felt the pain of depending too much on people who did not know how to protect your heart. You have already learned that if you do not become strong inside, the world will keep controlling you from outside. So now, you build differently. You do not build on attention. You build on discipline. You do not build on promises. You build on actions. You do not build on hope alone. You build on truth. You do not build on people saving you. You build on becoming someone who can save themselves. That is real power. Not the loud kind, not the fake kind, not the kind that needs everyone to see it. Real power is quiet. Real power is when you can feel pain and still choose wisdom. Real power is when you can miss someone and still not return to damage. Real power is when you can be misunderstood and still not beg to be seen. Real power is when your heart is heavy, but your hands still do the work. Real power is when you stop needing perfect conditions to move forward. Because life will not always give you perfect conditions. Some days will be heavy, some people will disappoint you, some doors will close, some plans will break, some nights will feel long. Some memories will return without warning, but the anchor does not leave its place every time the water gets rough. The anchor stays. So you must learn to stay with yourself. Stay loyal to your growth. Stay loyal to your peace. Stay loyal to your future. Stay loyal to the version of you that fought so hard to get here. Do not betray that version just because the old life calls your name again. Do not give up your calm just because someone tries to pull a reaction out of you. Do not throw away your progress because loneliness visits for one night. Do not run back to a storm just because silence feels new. You have come too far to become loose again. You have cried too many private tears to return to what caused them. You have fought too many hidden battles to hand your mind back to the same pain. So stand firm, not with pride, with peace, not with anger, with self-respect, not with revenge. with clarity. Say to yourself, I am not available for the life that broke me. I am not open to the patterns that weakened me. I am not returning to the places where I had to beg for basic respect. I am not giving my mind to people who do not protect my heart. This is how you become the anchor. You create rules for your life. Simple rules, strong rules, rules that protect the new you. No more chasing people who already showed you distance. No more explaining yourself to people who enjoy misunderstanding you. No more breaking your own heart just to keep someone comfortable. No more giving your peace to old memories. No more letting temporary emotions make permanent damage. No more letting fear choose your future. These rules are not walls. They are protection. A person who has been through storms must know how to protect the house they are rebuilding, because peace is not cheap. Healing is not cheap. Growth is not cheap. You paid for this strength with pain no one saw. You paid for this wisdom with nights no one understood. You paid for this calm with battles you fought alone. So do not let anyone walk into your life and make you forget what it cost you to become this version of yourself. Protect it. Protect your mind. Protect your time. Protect your sleep. Protect your energy. Protect your dreams. Protect your silence. Protect your future, because the anchor is not strong by accident. The anchor is strong because it is heavy with purpose. It knows where it belongs. It knows what it will not allow. It knows what it is holding. You must become heavy with purpose too. So heavy in your mission that small people cannot move you. So heavy in your self-respect that old temptation cannot pull you back. So heavy in your peace that drama cannot drag you down. So heavy in your future that the past cannot win anymore. This does not mean you will never feel weak. You will. There will be days when your heart feels tired. There will be moments when you wonder if you are strong enough. There will be nights when the old thoughts return. There will be times when you miss the life you had before you knew the truth. But feeling weak for a moment does not mean you are weak as a person. Even an anchor is surrounded by waves, but it still holds. So when your emotions rise, do not panic. Breathe. When your thoughts become loud, do not believe all of them. Pause. When your past starts calling, do not rush. Remember what it cost you. Remember how long it took to breathe again. Remember how much peace you lost there. Remember the version of you that begged, waited, chased, and cried in silence. Then choose the new you. Choose the one who stands. Choose the one who no longer runs after what keeps running away. Choose the one who no longer needs chaos to feel alive. Choose the one who understands that calm is not boring. Calm is safe. Calm is clean. Calm is power. And the more you choose calm, the more storms lose their control over you. This is the beauty of becoming the anchor. You stop fighting every wave. You stop reacting to every wind. You stop explaining your strength to people who only knew your weakness. You stop trying to prove that you changed. You just live changed. That is enough. Your peace becomes the proof. Your discipline becomes the proof. Your silence becomes the proof. Your distance becomes the proof. Your growth becomes the proof. You do not need to stand in front of the people who doubted you and say, "Look at me now." No, that is still needing witnesses. That is still giving them a seat in your story. True power is when you rise so deeply that proving them wrong no longer matters. You are not building for their shock. You are building for your freedom. You are not healing so they regret losing you. You are healing so you no longer lose yourself. You are not becoming strong to make them feel small. You are becoming strong so nothing can make you feel small again. That is clean power. That is God-tier mind. A mind that does not beg, a mind that does not chase, a mind that does not collapse every time life becomes unfair, a mind that understands the storm is not here to destroy you. Sometimes the storm is here to show you what is still loose inside you. Every storm reveals something. It reveals where you still need healing. It reveals where you still need discipline. It reveals where you still need boundaries. It reveals what still has power over your mood. It reveals who you become when life does not obey you. So do not hate the storm. Learn from it. Let it show you what needs to be strengthened. Let it show you what still pulls you. Let it show you what still scares you. Let it show you where the anchor needs to go deeper, because that is how you become immovable, not by avoiding storms, by becoming deeper than them. The shallow person is moved by everything. A deep person is not. A shallow person reacts fast. A deep person observes first. A shallow person needs noise. A deep person can handle silence. A shallow person runs from pain. A deep person turns pain into wisdom. A shallow person keeps proving. A deep person keeps building. Become deep. Deep in your purpose. Deep in your discipline. Deep in your peace. Deep in your self-respect. Deep in your own mind. So deep that when people try to disturb you, they cannot reach the place where your power lives. And one day you will notice the change. The things that used to break you will only teach you. The people who used to control your emotions will only show you how far you have come. The silence that used to scare you will feel like home. The loneliness that used to make you run back will become a place of strength. The storm that used to move you will pass over you, and you will still be standing. That is when you know you became the anchor, not because you never felt fear, but because fear no longer leads you, not because you never felt pain, but because pain no longer owns you, not because you never felt lonely, but because loneliness no longer makes you betray yourself, not because life became soft, but because you became solid. So from this day forward, stop looking for something outside you to hold you together. Stop waiting for people to become your ground. Stop needing every storm to end before you feel strong. Become the ground. Become the still place. Become the person who can stand when everything around them shakes. You are no longer the person waiting to be saved. You are no longer the person tied to old chains. You are no longer the person running back. You are no longer the person afraid to walk alone. You are no longer the person ruled by an untrained mind. You are no longer the person wasting pain. You are the person who rebuilt. You are the person who detached. You are the person who rose. You are the person who learned how to stand without an anchor, because you became the anchor. And now, when life sends another storm, you do not ask, "Who will save me?" You do not ask, "Who will hold me?" You do not ask, "Who will understand?" You simply breathe. You plant your feet. You quiet your mind. You protect your peace. And you say, "I am still here. I am still standing. I am not moving." Because when a person becomes their own anchor, no storm gets the final word. Chapter 8. Rebuild without anchor. And now you understand. You were not destroyed. You were being rebuilt. Every person who left taught you how to stand. Every silence taught you how to listen to yourself. Every heartbreak taught you where your peace was leaking. Every lonely night taught you that you can survive without the hands you once begged for. You thought losing people would end you, but it removed the chains. You thought walking alone would break you, but it made your feet stronger. You thought pain was punishment, but pain became the fire that burned the weak version of you away. Now you are different, not because life became easier, but because you became deeper. You no longer chase every person who pulls away. You no longer explain your worth to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You no longer give your peace to old memories. You no longer run back to places where your heart had to beg for basic respect. You have learned the hardest lesson. No one is coming to save you. And that is not a sad truth anymore. It is freedom, because when no one is coming, you stop waiting. You stop sitting in the same pain. You stop looking at the same door. You stop checking the same phone. You stop hoping the same people will finally become different. You stand up, you breathe, you wipe your own tears, you fix your own life. You become your own rescue. That is the moment everything changes. The world may still test you. People may still leave. Plans may still fail. Storms may still come. But this time, you do not fall apart like before. This time, you have roots. This time, you have discipline. This time, you have silence. This time, You have self-respect. This time you have a mind that no longer belongs to the past. You are not the same person who kept running back. You are not the same person who needed attention to feel alive. You are not the same person who confused pain with love. You are not the same person who let one person's absence destroy a whole day. That person is gone, and you do not need to hate that old version. That old version survived. That old version carried pain. That old version tried their best with the strength they had. But now, that old version cannot lead you anymore, because you are becoming someone new, someone calm, someone focused, someone silent, someone who does not need to be seen to keep growing, someone who does not need to be chosen to know their worth, someone who does not need to be held to stay standing. This is what it means to rebuild without anchor. It means you stop needing life to be soft before you become strong. It means you stop needing people to stay before you feel safe. It means you stop needing the past to explain itself before you move forward. It means you become the person you were waiting for. And one day people will notice. They will see your peace. They will see your distance. They will see your focus. They will see your strength. They will wonder what changed. But they will never fully understand, because they did not see the nights you fought your mind. They did not see the mornings you got up with a broken heart. They did not see the moments you almost went back, but chose yourself instead. They did not see the private war. They will only see the public result. And that is okay. You do not need them to understand your growth. You only need to live it. So keep going. Keep building. Keep protecting your peace. Keep training your mind. Keep walking even when the path feels quiet. Keep turning pain into power. Keep becoming the anchor no storm can move. Because your life is no longer in the hands of people who left. Your peace is no longer tied to people who could not see your value. Your future is no longer trapped inside your past. You are free now. Not because nothing hurts, but because hurt no longer controls you. Not because no storm comes, but because the storm no longer owns you. Not because you never feel alone, but because alone no longer means weak. You rebuilt, you detached, you rose. And now, when the world tries to pull you back, there is nothing left to grab. No rope, no chain, no old weakness, no broken need, only you, standing, silent, strong, unmoved. This is your new life. Rebuild without anchor. Detach completely. Rise with a God-tier mind. And become someone the storm can touch, but never move. Chapter 9. The version they can never reach again. There is a version of you they will never meet again. The old you, the one who waited, the one who begged, the one who explained pain to people who did not want to understand, the one who kept running back because loneliness felt too heavy. That version is gone now. Not because you became heartless, but because you finally became awake. You finally understood that some people only had power over you because you kept giving them access. Access to your mind, access to your emotions, access to your time, access to your peace. But now the door is closed, not slammed, not with anger, closed with calm hands, closed with peace, closed with the quiet truth that says, I am not going back to what made me lose myself. And this is where your real power begins. When you no longer need an apology to move forward, when you no longer need their regret to feel valuable, when you no longer need them to see your growth, when you no longer need anyone to admit they hurt you before you start healing, you simply heal, you simply build, you simply rise, quietly, day by day, step by step, without waiting for permission, without waiting for comfort, without waiting for someone to finally choose you, because now you choose yourself. And when a person truly chooses themselves, everything changes. They stop chasing, they stop proving, they stop explaining, they stop opening old doors just because the heart feels lonely. They stop confusing attention with love. They stop calling pain a connection. They stop giving weak people strong positions in their life. That is not pride. That is self-respect. And self-respect will make you look different. People will think you changed. They are right. You did. You changed because the old way was killing your peace. You changed because being available to everyone made you unavailable to yourself. You changed because you got tired of bleeding for people who never even noticed the wound. You changed because your life needed a stronger you. So let them call you different. Let them call you distant. Let them say you are not the same anymore. You are not supposed to be the same. The same version of you kept getting hurt. The same version of you kept returning. The same version of you kept lowering standards just to keep people close. That version had to end. And now you are building something they cannot control. A calm mind, a clean heart, a strong routine, a silent focus, a peace that does not depend on their behavior. This is the kind of growth that cannot be stolen because it was built in private. It was built when nobody checked on you. It was built when you had tears in your eyes but still kept going. It was built when the past called and you did not answer. It was built when loneliness came and you did not run back. It was built when your emotions were loud but your discipline was louder. That is why this new version is different. This version does not need noise. This version does not need revenge. This version does not need to prove anything. This version knows that the greatest comeback is not making them regret losing you. The greatest comeback is no longer needing them at all, no longer needing their eyes, no longer needing their words, no longer needing their apology, no longer needing their place in your life. You are free, and freedom does not always feel loud. Sometimes freedom feels quiet. It feels like sleeping without waiting for a message. It feels like walking away without shaking. It feels like hearing their name and no longer breaking inside. It feels like choosing peace and not feeling guilty for it. It feels like finally breathing in a life that used to choke you. That is real freedom. And now, when the past reaches for you, it reaches for someone who no longer exists. It calls your old name, but you do not answer. It opens the old door, but you are not standing there. It sends the old feeling, but your new mind does not obey because you have moved, not just from people, not just from places, not just from memories. You have moved from the old version of yourself, and that is the deepest kind of escape. So keep going. Do not return. Do not shrink. Do not lower yourself just because someone misses the version of you they could control. Let them miss that version. Let them search for that version. Let them wonder where it went, because you know the truth. That version died so this one could live. And this one is stronger. This one is calmer. This one is wiser. This one does not wait to be saved. This one does not need an anchor. This one became the anchor. So stand in your new life. Protect it. Build it. Respect it. And never forget what it cost you to become this strong. You are not rebuilding to be seen. You are rebuilding to be free. You are not rising to make noise. You are rising to become untouchable inside. And from this moment on, the storm can come. The past can call. People can leave. Life can shake. But you will not return to the old self, because that version is gone, and the new you is impossible to pull back. And now remember this: you do not need the person who left to come back before you begin again. You do not need an apology before you heal. You do not need anyone to understand your pain before you become strong. You do not need the same hands that broke your peace to become the hands that save you. That season is over. The waiting is over. The begging is over. The running back is over. Now you stand, not because life became easy, but because you finally became stronger than the thing that tried to break you. You are not the same person anymore. The old you needed people to stay. The new you needs peace. The old you chased answers. The new you chooses growth. The old you was afraid to walk alone. The new you understands that alone is where power was born. So when the past calls again, let it ring. When old pain returns, let it pass. When people try to pull you back into the version they could control, do not move. Stay calm. Stay silent. Stay focused, because your future needs a version of you that no longer shakes every time life changes. Your future needs a mind that is clean, a heart that is protected, a soul that can walk through storms without begging the storm to be gentle. This is how you rebuild without anchor. You stop waiting to be rescued. You stop handing your peace to people who never knew its value. You stop living like your life ended when someone walked away, and you become the one thing you were always searching for: the anchor, the ground, the strength, the home. So rise quietly, heal deeply, move differently, and never forget this: the storm did not come to end you. It came to show you that nothing outside you was holding you up. You were standing all along. And now that you know that, no one can pull you back again.